Good afternoon. Welcome to Safety with Bob. Today we're going to be talking about pre-task plans. First of all, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Bob Morris. I am the safety manager with Green Circle Demolition. And this is a process that we've put in place. So I kind of want to go over what we do as a company when it comes to pre-task planning. First of all, we use what we call the pre-task plan sheet. Each one of these are filled out every day before a team member or team starts their job for the day. We do these because we definitely want to find out what the number one, the job scope is. What are we doing that day? What task are we performing? And what hazards are involved with those tasks, kind of hazard recognition. So we take a look at the task being performed, we take a look at the hazards that are associated with those tasks, and then we take a look at the controls that we're going to put in place to make sure that team members are protected from those hazards, and determine what is the best course of action to take to make sure our team goes home at the end of the day. So once we get done with the front part of the sheet, then we turn it over and we have a job hazard analysis. We take a look step by step what the job is going to entail for that day, and then we determine what the hazards are associated with each step of that job, and then we list the control measures that we're going to put in place to protect our team members. And then each team member signs this, indicating that they understand the hazards and the controls that we put in place, so that we make sure that, again, we go home at the end of the day. This is should be done as a team, so if there's 3 or 4 people working on the team leader and those 4 team members will take a look at the job and determine what those hazards are, what the control measures are, and make sure they're using them.
We're continuing our process here and talking about the pre-task plan. So our scope of work today is we're really going to be removing ceilings, right? So based on today's kind of scope, what are some of the hazards you got? You got falling, right? Because you're going to be bringing material down, you're going to be having material on the floor, so you got slips, trips, and falls. Knives, cutting carpet, so potential for lacerations and cuts. How about when you're taking the ceiling down? You got sharp metal in the ceiling grid, right? So potential for lacerations. So it sounds like today lacerations is a big potential. No power tools today, so that's a good thing, right? So it sounds like a lot of hand work, a lot of trips, slips, and falls, and so forth. So now that we've done that and figured that out, we can go through here and we can check our paperwork, right? So we're going to definitely be doing some demo prep work. Going to be no mechanical demo, it sounds like. You're not going to be using tools or anything. You're not going to be using explosives. No concrete. There's no really abatement going on. So demo prep work's your biggest thing today. So we already talked about the hazards with that. So we can go in and check these off. There's a cot between. You're going to be working at elevations, right, on your ladders. So we want to make sure our ladders are in good shape. Make sure they're inspected, make sure we know the weight capacity on each of the ladders. And there is some potential for silica exposure, right, if you're damaging walls. So we got our mister here that we'll be using the wet spray. Falls from height, slips, trips, and falls we already talked about. Struck by, again, moving materials around. Good housekeeping, right? Keep everything picked up, out in the dumpster. That way you eliminate a lot of the hazards. So required safety. Hard hat, safety vest or high vis, gloves. Make sure you're wearing your gloves at all times, right? You got cut resistant gloves. Safety glasses with side shields. And then of course, leather boots above your ankle, kind of protect your feet and so forth. So that's our required safety measures that we're going to be using today. We will do a pre-shift meeting, kind of what you're doing now, right? The PPE requirements been reviewed, right? So safety equipment inspections, again, make sure everything's in good shape. Tool and material inspections, again, checking your tools, checking all the handles on your shovels, your brooms and so forth, making sure they're in good shape and not going to break. And then equipment inspections, which you guys aren't doing any equipment. You're not going to be doing any rigging, no hot work. You have fire extinguishers available, they're all in good shape. Not going to need to barricade. Evacuation routes, All our exits are marked are marked to get out, right? They're clear. And then evacuation, we meet out in the parking lot, right? Back by the trailer. And then that way we know we're all safe. No underground, life systems, no. Containment requirement, no. No worries on SDSs and chemicals. No confined space. No trenching. And then the only other persons, I mean, we got people coming in and out of the building, so we need to coordinate with them, make sure they understand what's going on, and with the general contractor. So job steps is setup, and what are some things that we have to deal with setup? Slips, trips, and falls. You're lifting heavy equipment, heavy materials, ladders, right? Awkward. So again, housekeeping is one of our control measures. And then using proper lifting techniques, right? Making sure that we use and then a two-man lift if necessary. What's your next step? Are you going to start in one area and work down, do ceilings and?
Yeah, we're going to do ceiling first and then carpet.
So ceiling removal. Lacerations is a big one, right? Slip, trip, and fall. Electrical. Proper gloves, PPE. Falls, again, using platform ladders. Slips, trips, and fall, again, housekeeping, right? And electrical is just being aware, right? Awareness of your surroundings. Moving debris is lifting. So, just want to make sure and have everybody sign that. Does everybody understand what's going on today? All right. So that's what we're doing today, right? So we want to make sure that we pay attention to what we're doing, that we abide by our safety guidelines. All right. Be safe, guys.
Now that we've finished the job that we're doing today, it's time for us as a team to sit down and take a look at what actually happened that day. There is a section on our PTP that needs to be filled out that'll ask the questions: did everything go according to plan? Were there any incidents? Were all the equipment inspections done? Were all the tool inspections done? Did everything, like I said, basically go the way that we had planned to do this job? And that way, if there wasn't, then what do we need to do the next time to make sure the job goes smoothly? Or if it did, hey, congratulations to us, right? So again, it's very important to have that conversation at the end of the job to make sure everything went smoothly. So hopefully you found this interesting. If you did, please scroll down below and you'll find a downloadable PDF of the form that we use. If you're interested in seeing other things that we've put together, you can go to the Safety Learning Center at our YouTube channel and look at the playlist there. Thank you. Have a safe day.